Today, I'll develop the story of Seoulung, a world cultural heritage of the Joseon dynasty. Seoulung Royal Tomb is in Deokang-gu, Goyang City. Seoulung is the 5 tombs in the west and is the second largest royal tomb of the Joseon dynasty after Dongurung in Guri. The 5 tombs are Gyeongnung, the tomb of King Deokjong and Queen Sohae; Changneung, the tomb of 8th King Aejong and his second queen Ansun; Ingneung, the tomb of Queen Ingyong, the first queen of the 19th King Sukjong; Myeongneung, the tombs of King Sukjong, the second queen Inhyun, the third queen Inwon; and the Hongneung of Queen Jeongseong, the first queen of the 21st King Yeongjo. One of the 2 royal won tombs is the 13th King Myeongjong's son Sunhae and Gonghae Bin's Sunchangwon. There is Sugyongwon of Yeongbin-yi, mother of posthumously King Jangjo. Lastly, the royal Myo tomb is the Daebin-myo of Hwibin-jang, the biological mother of the 20th King Gyeongjong. Starting with the construction of Eumyo for Crown Prince Eugyeong, the eldest son of Sejo, Changneung of Yejeong, Sunchangwon of Crown Princess Sunhae, Ingneung of Queen Ingyong, Myeongneung of King Sukjong, and Hongneung of Queen Jeongseong were built. In the 1970s, Yeongbin-yi's Sugyongwon and Oksan Daebin-jang's Daebin-myo were relocated and became Seoulung with 5 tombs, 2 wons, and 1 myo. This is the entrance to Seoulung. Those over 65 are free, and those under 65 pay 1,000 won. Residents of Goyang City receive a 50% discount, and the Goyang City Cultural Tour Guide is resident. Commentary is provided at 10, 13, and 15 o'clock. It takes 1 hour. You can easily get there by taking a bus from Hongdae Station on Line 3 or Yeokcheon Station on Line 6 and getting up at the Seoulung-gil intersection bus stop. The description of tomb begins with the royal tombs at the entrance, followed by the wons and then the myo. In Part 1, Myeongneung, Ingneung, Gyeongneung, Hongneung, Changneung. Part 2 explains in order of Sugyongwon, Sunchangwon, and Daebin-myo. Myeongneung is the tomb of the 21st King Sukjong, the second Queen Inhyun's twin tombs, and the third Queen Inwon's tomb. When the tomb of Queen Inhyun was constructed, the site of King Sukjong's tomb was determined in advance and built in the form of twin tombs. After Queen Inhyun passed away in 1757, a tomb was built on the western hill. To ease the burden of the royal tomb construction, the size of the stone figures are reduced. King Sukjong was the son of Hyunjong and Queen Myeongseong and ascended the throne at the age of 14. He strengthened the royal authority through 3 hwanguk of hill and encouraged commerce by distributing Sangpyeong-tongbo. He established the border with the Qing dynasty by erecting the Baekdu Mountain Jeonggye-bi. He was the only king who held a queen installation ceremony as many as 4 times. Hwanguk means that the current state or political situation has changed. In Korean history, it refers to the rapid change of the ruling power in the late Joseon dynasty and the political situation accordingly. 4 queens are the first Queen Ingyong, the second Queen Inhyun, the deposed Queen Hwibin-jang clan, and the third queen is Inwon. When the strife among the 4 factions was in full swing, party strife was approximately used for the purpose of strengthening royal authority, and Queen Inhyun of Seoin and Hwibin-jang of Namin also used it politically. At one time, because of Hwibin-jang, he had a love sick and killed Song Si-yeol, the leader of Noron and the great scholar of the time, for opposing Hwibin's son to installation as a crown prince, but even Hwibin-jang was killed to keep the Namin forces in check. Hwibin-jang and Queen Inwon are so famous that let's keep the story. There were 3 consort queens, but I wonder if they were karma from King Sukjong. He had no children and only had sons in the concubines. They were King Gyeongjong and King Yeongjo. The second consort Inhyun was buried side by side with Sukjong. Was it because Sukjong was sorry for deposing Queen Inyeon and suffering. The third queen, Inwon, died in 7 years old without children. I feel even sorry that she was looking at the two Sukjong and Inyeon as if she was hired as a living-in servant. Queen Inyeon became the Queen of Sukjong in 1681. She was deposed after quarrel over the installation of the crown prince and reinstated as queen in 1694. She passed away in 1701 and was the first to be buried at Myeongneung. Queen Inwon was crowned queen in 1702 when Queen Inyeon passed away. During fractional strife, she protected her stepson Yeongjo to the end and eventually crowned him. When King Yeongjo ascended the throne in 1724, she became the Queen Dowager. Then, in 1757, she died at the age of 71 in Yeongmo-dang, Changdeokgung Palace. In response to King Sukjong's order, the tombstone work became smaller than other tombs. This is the family tree of King Sukjong. Sukbin-che, the concubine of King Sukjong, is the birth mother of King Yeongjo and is located in Paju at Soryongwon. There is a tombkeeper's house between Myeongneung and Ingneung. There was an early main gate in front of the tombkeeper's house, but is currently used as the entrance to the military base in Seoreung. Ingneung is the tomb of Queen In-kyung, the first wife of King Sukjong. Ingneung has large stone figures compared to Myeongneung. T-shaped shrine has one more section built with pillars without walls. Queen In-kyung was born as the daughter of a rural leader Kim Man-gi from a rich family, became queen at the age of 14 and gave birth to two daughters, but they died early. She herself contracted smallpox and died at the age of 20. One of the reasons Joseon queens died young was that she gave birth at a young age when her body was immature. She was the first queen, but she died early, so she was buried separately from King Sukjong's tomb. Gyeongneung is in the form of using the same T-shaped shrine on the different hill. The tomb of posthumously honored King Deokjong and Queen Sohae. Deokjong passed away at the age of 20 as the crown prince, and Deokjong's tomb was built as the crown prince's tomb. After King Seongjong ascended the throne, Queen Sohae became Queen Dowager in Su, so the tomb was constructed in the form of a royal tomb. In the royal tombs of the Joseon dynasty, the royal tomb of king is on the left when viewed from the T-shaped shrine, but the tomb of Deokjong is on the right, not the left. It is said that Deokjong's father Sejo usurped the throne by instigating the Keiyu Jeongnan, a fever, dethroned his nephew Danjong and sent him into exile. As a result, Sejo's son's life was short-lived, and Deokjong died at the age of 20 in Gyeongbokgung Palace in 1470. Deokjeong was appointed to the Dowongun in 1445 and the Crown Prince in 1455, but died early in 1457. He was posthumously promoted to King Eugyeong in 1470 and was honored as the Great King Eugyeong in 1475. Queen Sohae-han, the daughter of Sowon Buwongun Hana, married Dowongun Deokjeong in 1450 and became crown princess after Sejo ascended the throne. When Deokjeong passed away in 1457 and her second son Seongjong ascended the throne in 1469, she became Queen Dowager Insu. When Deokjeong was promoted as King Eugyeong in 1470 and was promoted as Great King Eugyeong in 1475, she became Grand Queen Dowager Insu. She died in 1504 at the age of 68. Han Kyolan lived in the palace as a crown princess but lost her status due to the death of her husband, Crown Prince Eugyeong, and had to leave the palace with her two sons. Feeling sorry for her, her father-in-law Sejo offered his eldest daughter-in-law Han Kyolan that would be good for her to live in the palace, but when Han Kyolan refused and wanted to leave the palace with her two sons, Sejo built a special house for her, which is now Seogwodang Hall at Deoksugung Palace. The younger son Cha San-gun ascended the throne, and Queen Sohae entered the palace, and the eldest son Prince Wolsan inherited the residence. After the Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592, King Seonjo used it as a temporary palace, and when Gwanghae-gun moved to Changdeokgung, it was called Gyeongun-gung. After King Gojong abdicated in 1907, it was renamed Deoksugung Palace. Gongnu is the tomb of Queen Jeongseong, the first queen of the 21st King Yeongjo. King Yeongjo, wanting to be buried next to it, left the left side of the burial mound empty and arranged stone figures in the form of twin tombs. However, King Yeongjo was buried in one ring of Donggunung, perhaps because he liked Queen Jeongsun under the age of 50. Queen Jeongseong married Prince Yeongin-gun in 1704 at the age of 13, and after Gyeongjong ascended the throne, Yeongin-gun was installed as crown prince and became a crown princess, and after ascending the throne, she was installed as queen. She was the longest reigning queen in Joseon history, but she was not loved by King Yeongjo because she had no children. Her temperament was mild, and she treated children of King Yeongjo's concubines well. She was a great support for Sado Crown Prince. Unfortunately, was in a disaster that she died earlier than King Yeongjo. This is because Queen Jeongsun, who came in as her second wife, took the lead in conspiring and killing her crown prince. Queen Jeongseong was a pitiful queen who was treated coldly by King Yeongjo even if she lived or died. She died at the age of 66. Chang is the first tomb built as a royal tomb of the form of using the same T-shaped shrine on the different hill in Seoul, and is the tomb of the 8th King Yejong and the 2nd Queen Ansun. the tomb of Yejong on the left and Queen Ansun on the right. The kosok of the support stone of the stone spirit dice is decorated with a piece of ghost face, but the kosok of the Yejong is made of a drum ring. Kosok is a stone that is shaped like a drum and supports the upper stone in front of the tomb. It is said that King Yejong was very filial and hurt his health because he was so sad when his father King Sejo passed away. He married at the age 11 and had a son at the age of 12. How happy must be the royal family having to become a father at the youngest stage in the history of the Joseon dynasty. How was he precocious? However, his precious baby died at the age of 3. Yejong killed General Nami, a genius general, as a traitor within a month of his accession to the throne. Jealousy about King Sejo's love for General Nami also played a part. However, King Yejong suddenly died of sepsis, and he oversaw political affairs until the day before his death. His older brother, Crown Prince Eugyong, died at the age of 20, and Eugyong's younger brother, Yejong, died at the age of 20. Wouldn't that be the karma of King Sejo who killed Danjong? Queen Ansun was the crown prince's concubine, but when the crown princess died, she became the crown princess and luckily became the queen, but her luck ended there. She became a widow at the age of 25 and lived in low spirits because she should work on the eggshells of her fierce mother-in-law, Queen Jeonghee, and her more powerful older sister-in-law, Queen In-soo. But after death, she was buried in the same Changneung with her husband instead of Queen Jang-sun, the original queen of King Yejong. It is the family tree of King Yejong. Queen Jang-sun passed away as a crown princess, and her tomb was built in Paju Samneung, and in 1470 she was honored as a Queen Jang-sun and called it Gongneung. Queen Ansun's older sister-in-law is Queen In-soo, and her mother-in-law is Queen Jeonghui.